All right, let's just dive right into this explainer. Today, we are breaking down one of the most absurd, genuinely baffling military conflicts in all of human history. We're talking about the Great Australian Emu War of 1932. It's a story that absolutely proves truth is way stranger and, honestly, way funnier than fiction.
Picture this. You've got a world-class military, armed to the teeth, stepping up to the plate, fully expecting to just wipe the floor with a bunch of flightless birds. And wrong. They were so wrong. That's the totally backward reality we're exploring today. The Australian military was absolutely no match for these feathered Napoleons.
Part 1. A promise gone wrong. From World War I to the wheat fields. So, to set the stage here, after World War I, returning Australian veterans were promised this nice, peaceful life of farming wheat out in Western Australia. Sounded great, right? But that expectation met a pretty grim reality. By the 1930s, the Great Depression hits. The world economy basically falls off a cliff, and these veterans are out there working tirelessly just to salvage their livelihoods and keep their farms afloat. Section 2. The feathered threat arrives. Enter the Mad Lads. Okay, so right as these farmers finally manage to get their crops growing, this completely unexpected enemy just rolls over the horizon. 20,000 of them. Seriously, let that massive number sink in for a second. Imagine looking out of your hard-earned crops and seeing 20,000 emus migrating straight towards you. Because to these birds, those meticulously planted wheat fields, yeah, that wasn't a farm, it was just a giant all-you-can-eat buffet. They smashed right through the fences, trampled the crops, and completely ruined the land.
Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Come on, they're just big chickens. Just shoo them away. But no, absolutely not. Emus are basically 6-foot-tall feathered tanks. They can sprint at 40 miles an hour. They apparently possess the tactical genius of Napoleon Bonaparte, and they can take a bullet like it's merely a light suggestion. Oh, and crucially, they have zero respect for property rights. This was an unstoppable force, leaving the farmers completely helpless.
Section 3. Calling in the military. Minister George Pierce steps in. Realizing pretty quickly that standard pest control just wasn't going to cut it, the farmers bypassed local authorities entirely and demanded military intervention. And Defense Minister George Pierce, he agrees it's a great idea. So he sends in Major GPW Meredith with the 7th Heavy Battery, bringing 2 Lewis machine guns and 10,000 rounds of ammo. Meredith expects an absolute walk in the park. But his enemy? 20,000 emus equipped with wings they can't even fly with, but armed with just supreme, unbothered confidence. Now, having 20,000 chaotic birds raiding your physical property and stealing your wheat is definitely terrifying. But in today's world, the equivalent is really a digital threat, you know? Hackers trying to raid your computer and steal your private data. Which is exactly why we're mentioning NordVPN, directly referenced in our source text. If you want to secure your digital life and unlock global content safely, NordVPN has totally got your back. You can grab a huge discount and a 30-day money-back guarantee, which basically ensures your digital fences hold up a lot better than those farmers' wooden ones did. All right, let's get back to the high-stakes wheat fields.
Section 4. The first battle fails. The November 2nd encounter. So here's the scene. Major Meredith and his men are crouched behind a bush, gearing up for this swift, totally decisive ambush. They spot a group of about 50 emus. Meredith figures they're just going to freeze up or stand there blindly, so he gives the order to open fire. But instead of panicking, the emus actually split up. They break into these small, evasive little groups and scatter in completely different directions. Meredith is just utterly shocked. The birds are legitimately deploying flanking maneuvers. He realizes right in real time that he is fighting some serious outside-the-box thinkers.
And the actual tactical reality of that first day? I mean, it was deeply embarrassing. Hundreds upon hundreds of heavy machine gun bullets were fired. And the result? Maybe a dozen emus killed? The most professional, well-equipped army in the region was being completely and totally outmaneuvered by flightless birds.
Section 5. The Dam Ambush Disaster.
The ultimate trap. Refusing to just take the loss, the military regroups a few days later when they spot this massive gathering of 1,000 emus hanging out near a local dam. They set up what they think is the perfect ambush. They wait in hiding, totally silent as the birds approach. They let the emus wander right into point-blank range where the machine guns literally can't miss. The tension is peaking, the soldiers are ready to fire, and then, click, the weapon completely jams. The emus just casually scatter, completely unfazed, leaving Meredith standing there with a broken gun and a severely bruised ego. Which brings us to this, frankly, stunning admission straight from Major Meredith himself in his official report. The guy was completely baffled. He actually wrote, "If we had a military division with the bullet-carrying capacity of these birds, it would face any army in the world." I mean, wow. He had to publicly go on the record and admit that these adorable but utterly unstoppable birds were undeniably winning the war against the Australian military. And that leaves us with a pretty massive cliffhanger for our explainer today. The Emu War is off to an absolutely disastrous start. So what on earth happens next? Does Major Meredith just pack up his jammed guns and go home? Or does he double down on the pure absurdity of this entire operation? Who do you side with here? The world-class soldiers or the feathered forces? It's a question that really makes you rethink the whole food chain. Let me know your thoughts and stay curious.